While all the hype is focused on certain stocks like Micron, SoFi, Nvidia, a lot of the big names, people are completely missing the stock Oracle. Now, it's very important to understand the infrastructure of Oracle, so that's exactly what we're going to discuss today. So what is Oracle? Think of Oracle like the software that is needed to run these companies. So big enterprise companies use this for organization, CRM, management of employees, and it also stores the data that they use within the software. So it's very, very important to keep track of all your details in business. And this is exactly what Oracle does. Now, when you look at the stock, it does not reflect that at all. This is a company that has $500 billion in guaranteed income coming in over the next 5 years. So $100 billion every single year if they closed their doors, if they did absolutely nothing. So you need to understand why potentially right now is the best time for you to buy Oracle stock. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But what I'm telling you is I'm buying Oracle so heavy right now. And I'm taking profits from other sectors, from Nvidia, from Palantir. And I've trimmed that profit. I've trimmed Micron profit. And I'm putting it into Oracle stock. Because I really believe over the next month, 3 months, 6 months, this stock has a high likelihood of popping off to $500, even $600 per share price. And so I'm going to walk through that today. So with that being said, if you haven't already, make sure to click the like button and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and I'd really appreciate it. And I appreciate you being here a lot. So if you like the video, definitely shows me appreciation. And I really like to see other people get this video as well, because this is really a stock to make a lot of money on. Because the first thing we're going to do, and you've seen on the charts here, I drew all the different peaks where there was a higher high or a lower low being established. So we have one higher high. We have another higher high, and then this is the peak. This is all-time high. Then we set up a lower low. Then we have another lower low. There's another lower low that I didn't mention here. And then we just set up a new lower low right here. Now, with Oracle stock, like I just said, if they close their doors and accept no new revenue, no new contracts, nothing, and they just operated as is, they didn't take another single client for 5 years, they would have $500 billion coming in. So you just have to think about that as we're looking at this stock, because I'm going to dive into their balance sheet in a little bit, but you just have to understand that. So just bear with me here. So Oracle had a great run up all the way to 345 range. As you can see on the way up, looked a lot like SoFi. We had it where not much was touching below the moving average on the Bollinger Band. We had this right here, obviously touching the base. Oh, we're on actually the day chart. Let's go ahead and switch over to the 4-hour chart. It's much better to look at here. There you go. That's much better. Okay, so this is the moving average, which is the blue line in the Bollinger Band. Okay. Now, when we look at this, as long as it doesn't touch the blue line, which is the moving average, it usually doesn't go below the moving average. You can see here, it touched it, and look what happened. It went below the moving average line and then hit the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Then we pull up our indicator, the RSI indicator, and then you can see on that plunge down, as we saw divergence. If you don't know what a divergence is as the stock is going higher, the RSI is actually going down. So that's a divergence. Now, when we saw this touch the bottom of the Bollinger Band, so right here on the chart, zoom in for you guys, at the 233 level, it was attempting to break down into lower lows. We saw this again, but as the RSI increased, we had a little bit of a upwards pressure, and then boop, we saw a bearish candle right here before almost touching the bottom of the RSI indicator at the 30 level. Now, as soon as that happened, look what happened. It went absolutely parabolic, and it gapped up from the 230 range all the way up to 243. So about 49% in 2 days. 49%. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we day trade the entries on our stocks. It's very important. Most people will just look at a chart from far out and they'll say, well, this looks like a fine entry. If you were just to look at this chart, look at the RSI indicator, look at the actual Bollinger Bands, figure out where's a decent entry based on volumes, based on the RSI, you would make a lot more money because you'd make 49%. So if you would have put in $100, your $100 would have been at $149. Essentially a 50% gain on your money. Okay, but now we have to look at exactly what's happening today because it has dropped down quite a bit from its gap at the all-time highs. So the all-time highs was 338. And then from there, like I just talked to you guys about, as soon as it hits below or touches that moving average, you can see it has a sharp decline. And I know what you're thinking because you're looking at this and you're like, well, what the heck? If I was holding this stock here, you'd have been stopped out if you set a a stop loss. Usually people set stop losses at around 6 to 8%, which I don't recommend. I don't do that in my portfolio. Like, just watch your positions. And if you don't have time to watch your positions, join a mentorship, a community where you get alerts when to sell. That's the easiest way to think about it, because you shouldn't be doing this alone. People hire wealth managers for their money just to keep track of it because they don't want to lose track of these very important days. Okay, it kept going down. It tried to obviously peak back up and set higher highs, but then it just kept having a lower momentum. Now, if you guys don't know what a breaker structure is, this is essentially what it is. If we're setting lower lows just like this, a breaker structure is where we either return in the other direction or we just break that structure. So it's just like the name says. Now, we were trying to break structure all the way back down to the 140 range. And just to show you how much money you would have lost from getting in at the wrong point, like if you'd have bought at the highs and you were saying, oh my gosh, the stock went up 49%, I need to get in on this, you'd have lost 58%, nearly 59% over 212 days. So very painful. And this was a part of what was happening last year in the software sector. We were in a little bit of a software recession. Now that was because of fears with AI. AI was not new, I shouldn't say that, but it was coming with a lot of different things with Anthropic, different deep seek agents, and a lot of job loss worries were happening. Now that's moved aside, I think, a lot of it. And software is cooling down. People are realizing software is not going anywhere. It's very important to these companies. It's still integrated. Yes, there's going to be switches in the marketplace, but valuable companies don't just disappear overnight unless it's a complete disruption. Like if AI was to come out and just completely replace all these companies, then yeah, like that's a problem. But do we see that happening at least right away within the next 5 years? I don't think we're quite there yet. And I think the market understands that. Now, right here was very important. So let's walk through this. We set a double bottom. Now, a double bottom is crucial because this is the most important thing we have to see for a reversal. So you can see we hit the first bottom, we surged back up, we hit another double bottom right here, and then we peaked up. The main thing about a double bottom that you have to understand is this piece right here with the chart. And this is what I want to discuss today. This piece, you can essentially always predict this typically like 60 to 70% of the time. If you put a line here and you move this line, look at this, how above this peak is essentially where the stock price goes. And I'm not even making this up. If you just draw a line at the double bottom, at the middle of it, and you bring that line over here, you can see how this is exactly where we're at today. And I'm going to discuss what comes next. But you can see how when the charting, when I'm walking you through this stuff, I know what I'm talking about. This is what I do, and this is how I make money for me and my family. So now that we established there's a double bottom, now I'm going to walk you through what's going to happen likely from here with the Oracle stock and why it's so important to pay attention to these lines that I drew right here, which is the peaks of higher highs or lower lows, and why it's so important what happens next. Because we just hit this higher high peak right here. As you can see, we have number 1, number 2, number 3. So we now established there's so much buying power in Oracle that as long as we keep breaking through this, we can establish either a sideways trend or it can peak up. It can go up to this next line and try to break through and come down and then eventually try to come back up again. We could set up another double bottom or we can just pass through here up to the next stage. But there's a reason behind this. And we're going to look at actually the charts, we're going to look at the actual earnings play and see why this is so important for Oracle. Like I just discussed, if they close the doors to new business and say, we're not accepting any new business, no new customers, they have $500 billion, $100 billion a year. And this is contractual, meaning if the contracts decide not to pay, they could take them to court and they can say, you have to pay us because you set up these long-term contracts. And unless you're literally bankrupt, you still owe us that. Like we're still going to go after it with the assets that you have. And that's how important these contracts are. Like these are hundreds of billions of dollars. And to lay out this example, I'm going to give you a very clear and just easy to understand example of how this works. Let's say you go to buy a house, and most of you have probably bought in a house. If you're watching this channel, you probably, you have money to invest in whatever. So when you go to buy a house, and let's say it's a $500,000 house, they're going to want your income. They're going to want your statements, the proof that you have jobs, whatever. Let's say your income is $100,000 and you want to qualify for a $500,000 house. And let's just make it simple. You have no other debt. Okay. So you're signing up for $500,000 of debt, and then you're going to put a down payment, let's say 50 grand or whatever. So you're signing up for $450,000 of debt with a $100,000 income. Now keep that in mind, because what the bank does is it future paces your income, your ability to earn more income, all that good stuff to make sure that you can afford that home. Now, look what the market's done with this company, because this is what really makes no sense. When I look at the thesis behind Oracle, they're super important with cloud computing. They're so important with software, with integration with these massive enterprise level companies. And then we look at their balance sheet, and the bearish case makes zero sense in my opinion. This is the bearish case. They have $100 billion in debt. That's the bearish case. And so the example that I just used with buying a house says that you're going to have 5 times your household income per year in debt. That's the example that I just used. The example with Oracle is this. They have $100 billion in debt. As you can see, $131 billion. They have $140 billion in assets, so that's not even their income. But their income yearly is over $100 billion. So that's like me walking into the bank and saying, I want to buy a house that's $100,000 and my income's $100,000 a year. The bank would be like, yes, here's the loan for it. It'd be the quickest loan ever. The loan officer would probably approve it right away. It'd be a nice, smooth transaction, blah, blah, blah. So that is the bearish argument. So now you have to understand when we look back at, the income statements, and they're looking great. Software is obviously recovering from a little bit of a dip over the past 12 months. And you understand this chart, you think, well, why can't it at least return to all-time highs? Which is really what I'm telling you in this video. Over the next month, 3 months, 6 months, I don't know how long it's going to take, but this stock will come back. And this is why I'm buying super heavy right now. By the way, this isn't financial advice at all. You can decide which stocks you want to invest in. This is what I'm investing in. Okay. And I'm going to show you the reasoning why. So we go back to here. This is what I think is going to happen. We have a faster trajectory over the next 3-4 months to getting to this point right here, which is the all-time highs at 345. Could it take longer? Could it take 6 to 12 months? Absolutely. But with the S&P, with better economics, with better job reports, with better CPI data, with better interest rates, they might drop in October, 25 basis points. With all these factors, increasing the economy outlook and increasing, obviously, the stocks in your retirement portfolio, there is no reason why this company couldn't go to 600, even 500. You might think that's crazy because you're looking at it right now. You're like, well, Johnny, it's at like 220 right now. Let's look at it. Okay, let's say worst case scenario. It just returns to all-time highs, which is extremely, extremely doable. Let's look at how much money you would make. 55% on your money. So pretty much exactly what we saw right here. Now, to understand just how life-changing this is, dollar cost averaging, which is literally the gap up we just saw here. And this, by the way, went up in, how long was that? 24 days. It went up 54% in 24 days. To understand how life-changing this is how people are actually able to retire early and to spend their time investing in the stock market, is by doing smart plays like this. Now, let's look more granular. Let's look on the hour chart. Now, if you don't know, we're using the Bollinger Bands as an indicator. These are the red and green lines you see. This is the top of the Bollinger Band, the red line. The bottom of the Bollinger Band is this green line right here. And then the blue line is the moving average. Okay, so these are the higher highs. This is the lower lows that we just broke right here. And pretty much just demolished it. Now, to see what comes next, so over the next week, like I said, we day trade the entries. And don't worry if you don't have the time to day trade the entries. You can join my mentorship. I'll show you all the entries and exits that I do. It's very simple to follow along. If you want to do that, obviously just book a call down below. But what I think is going to happen, especially over the next little bit, is I think we're going to have a little bit of selling pressure over the next few days, especially going into Friday, because we have some reports coming out on Friday this week. Now, do I think it can come down a little bit? Yes, absolutely. Because look at, we're a little bit overbought here on the RSI. And if you don't know, if it's above this 70 mark right here, that usually means we're overbought, which is what it's signaling. This is why I love this indicator, because as you can see, it follows the charts very well. It was a little bit overbought right here, which was right here. And then we had a little bit of downturn, a little bit of bearish candles. And you can see it return back to oversold range. And then we saw a reversal going back up. Now we actually, now that I look at it, we actually did have a double bottom here as well. Double bottom right here. So that's great. We broke past it. It's very likely, like over 50% likely, that this trickles back down to this level just to test it one more time. And this is where I'm going to be buying more, because I bought a lot last week and over the past couple of weeks in this range. I haven't bought in too much here, but this is really where you should consider getting into it. Just wait until it pulls back just a little bit, because on your money, you can save an extra 11, 12% just getting in on a little bit of a better entry. So if you're investing 10 grand, you can make an extra few $100 on this, which is really what it's all about. And then I think Obviously, we'll see a reversal on the upside as it tests this resistance level, or excuse me, this support level, and then obviously returning back up. As long as we could break this high twice right up here, I think we have a fantastic opportunity of running up to the next level, which would be the 250 to 260 range. That could be the new support level quicker than you think. So don't sleep on the stock. Do your research, obviously, on your own. But like I said, they have guaranteed income. They have income contracts that are long. They're a very sticky business model, and they're very important to these enterprise companies. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But also, consider joining the mentorship. Click the link down below to book a call with my team, where we'll walk you through kind of a game plan, see if we can help you out if we have good trading styles that work. You can get all my trades. So while you're at work, you can just be like, oh, perfect, Johnny entered in this position. And we trade live every week. So you can actually understand these technicals, not just on this position, but on different companies in different sectors as well. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys being here. If you made it to the end, I love you guys, and we'll see you guys in the next one.